Have you ever looked at something broken and wondered if it could ever be beautiful again? A shattered mug on the kitchen floor, a favorite book with torn pages, a plant bent by the wind. Sometimes brokenness is obvious. A loud crash, a visible scar, a moment you can point to and say, that's when everything changed. But other times, it's quiet. It's the slow unraveling of hope, the silent ache behind a smile, the sense that something precious has slipped through your hands and you're not sure how to gather the pieces. We all carry places inside us that feel fractured. Maybe it's a relationship that ended before you were ready, a dream that faded quietly, a trust that was broken by words never spoken or wounds never healed, or perhaps it's the weight of your own mistakes. Regrets that echo in the quiet, reminding you of what might have been. Brokenness can feel like the end of the story. It can make you want to hide the pieces, to sweep them under the rug, to pretend that nothing ever cracked. But what if the story isn't over? What if the places that hurt the most are the very places where beauty is waiting to be born? Today, I invite you to pause and breathe. Let go of the need to be whole before you show up. Let go of the expectation that healing must be quick, or that pain must make sense. This is a space for honesty, for gentle reflection, for the quiet hope that your brokenness is not wasted. Take a slow breath. Feel the air move through you, steady and grounding. Notice the tension in your body, the way your shoulders hold memories, the way your jaw tightens around unspoken words, the way your hands curl when you're trying not to cry. Let yourself soften just for a moment. You don't have to hold it all together here. Think back to a time when something in your life broke. Maybe it was sudden a loss, a disappointment, a goodbye you didn't want to say, or maybe it was gradual. The slow erosion of trust, the fading of hope, the realization that things wouldn't turn out the way you planned. Let yourself remember, not to reopen the wound, but to honor the truth of your story. What did you do with the pieces? Did you try to glue them back together, hoping no one would notice the cracks? Did you hide them away, afraid that others would see your pain and turn away? Or did you sit with the fragments, unsure of what to do next, but unwilling to give up on the possibility of beauty? Brokenness is not the end, it's a beginning. A place where something new can take root, where old patterns can be released, and new ways of being can emerge, where the light can enter through the cracks and illuminate what you never saw before. If you feel weary from trying to be strong, let yourself rest. You don't have to prove your resilience by pretending you're unbreakable. True strength is found in honesty, in the willingness to admit that you are hurting, that you need help, that you long for healing. Imagine holding one of your broken pieces in your hands. Look at it closely, the jagged edges, the unique shape, the story it tells. It is not something to be ashamed of. It is evidence that you have lived, that you have loved, that you have risked your heart. Now, picture what it would be like to offer that piece to a presence greater than yourself, not to be judged or shamed, but to be received with tenderness. To be told, this too can be made beautiful. Let yourself breathe into that possibility. If your heart aches for restoration, know that you are not alone. There are others right now, holding their own broken pieces, wondering if beauty could ever come from pain. Let that awareness soften your heart toward yourself, toward others, toward the slow, mysterious process of healing. You do not have to rush. You do not have to hide. You only have to be willing to let the story continue. As you rest in this moment, carry with you the quiet hope that beauty is not found in perfection, but in the courage to begin again. Let yourself rest in that truth. Let your mind wander gently over the places in your life that feel fragile. Maybe it's the memory of a friendship that faded, or a hope that never quite took root. Perhaps it's the way you sometimes doubt your own worth, or the questions that echo in the quiet moments wondering if you'll ever feel whole again. These are not signs of failure. They are marks of being human, of loving losing, and longing for something more. It's easy to believe that brokenness is something to hide, something to be ashamed of. But what if it's actually an invitation? An invitation to look deeper, to notice the hidden beauty that can only be found in the places where life didn't go as planned. Think of the art of kintsugi, where broken pottery is repaired with veins of gold. The cracks are not concealed. They are illuminated. The vessel becomes more precious, not in spite of its flaws, but because of them. Your life, too, can be a mosaic of wounds and wonder, a story where grace fills the gaps and transforms what was shattered into something new. Consider the quiet ways you've kept going, the mornings you got out of bed, even when hope felt far away, the times you offered kindness to someone else, even when your own heart was aching, the moments you chose to believe, even if just for a second, that healing was possible. These acts may seem small, but they are seeds of redemption. They are the gentle beginnings of beauty, growing unseen beneath the surface. If you find yourself wishing you could go back and change the past, offer yourself compassion. Regret is a heavy burden, but it does not have to define you. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are the sum of every moment you chose to keep going, every time you reached for hope, every breath you took in the middle of the storm. Let yourself remember the people who have shown you grace, a friend who listened without judgment, a stranger who offered a smile when you needed it most, a loved one who forgave you, or whom you forgave. These moments are reminders that redemption is not just a distant promise. It is something that happens quietly and often unexpectedly, in the middle of ordinary life. If your heart is heavy today, let it be heavy. You do not have to force yourself to feel better. You do not have to rush the process of healing. Sometimes, the most courageous thing you can do is simply to sit with your pain, to honor it, to trust that it will not last forever. Imagine placing your broken pieces in gentle hands, hands that do not flinch at your scars, that do not recoil from your wounds, but that hold each fragment with care, hands that see not just what is broken, but what can be made new. If you feel gratitude, let it rise. Thank yourself for surviving, for trying, for believing that beauty is possible. Even now, thank those who have walked with you, even for a short time, on the road from brokenness to hope. Let this gratitude become a quiet strength, a gentle light that guides you through the darkness as you rest in this moment. Remember, you are not alone in your longing for redemption. There are others right now, hoping for the same gentle transformation, the same quiet miracle. Let that awareness connect you to yourself, to others, to the possibility that every pain can be redeemed. Let yourself rest in that hope as the evening deepens. Let yourself reflect on the journey you've traveled so far, not just the milestones or the moments of celebration, but the valleys, the detours, the places where you felt lost or left behind. Every life has its share of broken roads, paths you didn't choose, endings you didn't want, seasons of waiting that seemed to stretch on forever. It's in these places, often, that the most profound transformation begins, not in the easy victories, but in the quiet decision to keep moving, to keep loving, to keep believing that there is more to your story than the pain you carry, even when you can't see the way forward, even when hope feels like a distant memory. Something sacred is happening beneath the surface. Think about the ways you've grown through hardship, the patience you've learned in waiting, the compassion you've discovered in your own suffering, the wisdom that has come from walking through fire and finding you're still here. These are not small things. They are evidence that beauty can rise from even the deepest wounds. If you feel weary, let yourself rest. You do not have to prove your worth by pushing through exhaustion. You're allowed to pause, to breathe, to let yourself be held by the gentle assurance that you're not alone. Consider the people who have walked beside you in your hardest moments. Maybe it was a friend who sat with you in silence, a loved one who offered a hug, or even the quiet presence of someone who simply stayed. Their presence was a gift. A reminder that brokenness does not have to be carried alone. If you have carried your pain in silence, know that you are seen. Your struggles are not invisible. Every tear, every prayer, every longing for healing is precious and heard. Now turn your attention to the small signs of redemption that have appeared along your path. Flower blooming in a place you thought was barren. A moment of laughter in the middle of grief. A new friendship born from shared vulnerability. Let these reminders anchor you in hope. If regret or shame tries to creep in, meet it with compassion. You are not defined by what broke you, but by the courage it takes to keep seeking light. Forgive yourself for the times you stumbled. Honor yourself for the times you stood up again. Imagine your life as a mosaic. Each piece, whether whole or shattered, finding its place in a larger design. Some pieces are bright and smooth. Others are jagged and dark, yet together they form a work of art that could not exist without every fragment. Let yourself believe that your story is not over. Your pain is not the final word. There is beauty still being written, even in the chapters that feel unfinished. As you prepare for rest, breathe in the possibility of renewal. Let hope settle in your heart, not as a loud promise, but as a quiet invitation. You are being remade, piece by piece, into something more beautiful than you can yet imagine. Let yourself rest in that truth. As this reflection draws to a close, let yourself linger for a moment in the quiet. Notice how your breath has slowed, how your body feels a little lighter, how your heart is gently held by the possibility of hope. You have traveled through memories, regrets, and longing, and you have not turned away from your own pain. That in itself is an act of courage, a willingness to believe that your story is still unfolding, that beauty can rise from even the most broken places. Tonight, honor the journey you are on. You do not need to rush toward healing or force yourself to feel whole. You are allowed to be in process, to be unfinished. Trust that every step, even the smallest, is sacred. Think about the ways you have already begun to gather your broken pieces. Maybe you have reached out for help, or allowed someone to see your vulnerability. Maybe you have forgiven yourself for something you once thought was unforgivable, or perhaps you have simply chosen, day after day, to keep going, to keep hoping, to keep showing up for your own life. These are the quiet miracles of redemption. They are the golden seams in your story, the gentle reminders that nothing is wasted. Not your tears, not your questions, not your longing for something more. If you feel gratitude, let it fill you. Thank yourself for your honesty, for your resilience, for your willingness to believe that beauty is possible. Even now, thank those who have offered you grace along the way. A friend, a stranger, a moment of unexpected kindness. Let this gratitude become a wellspring of hope, a gentle light that will guide you through the days ahead as you prepare to step into tomorrow. Remember that you are not alone in your longing for healing. Let that awareness connect you to a circle of souls, each one held in quiet compassion. And as a special invitation, I want to welcome you to a new chapter in our journey together. This Saturday at 9:30 p.m., we will gather for our very first live event, Spiritual Circle. Welcome and silent prayer together. This is not a space for many words, but for presence, for stillness, for grace shared in silence. We will begin with a gentle welcome, followed by a short reflection, and then enter a time of silent prayer, each heart held together in faith. Whether you arrive with joy, exhaustion, pain, or quiet hope, this moment is for you to feel seen, to feel held, to feel near. There is power in praying together, even in silence. You're not alone here. If this reflection brought you comfort, let us know in the comments by writing, "Beauty is rising." Share a hope for healing, a moment of grace you noticed. today, or a word of encouragement for someone else, let's keep building this circle of gentle support and faith together. Subscribe to the channel so you never walk alone. Turn on notifications so you're always invited back to this space of comfort and renewal. And don't forget to join us live this Saturday for our first spiritual circle. Come as you are. Bring your story, your silence, your hope, and always remember, no matter where you are, we walk together in faith.